Okay, ladies and gentlemen, a cahir free vaimenig a corlori agus a greenusle falchirov galer go falchu caharha in an ordern tarhala shlete kiri as quege blian de hervish den ska. Cahirlach, Chief Executive, Councillors and distinguished guests, you're all very welcome to this Kerry County Council Civic reception to honour the members of Kerry Mountain Rescue. Welcome in particular to the members of the team who are with us this afternoon for this important occasion. Before we have the presentation to Kerry Mountain Rescue, we have a number of speakers, the first of whom is the Cahirlach of Kerry County Council, Councillor John Sheehan.
Thank you. Fellow councillors, Chief Executive and especially members of Kerry Mountain Rescue team, you are all very welcome to this civic reception. In particular, I would like to welcome the Chairman of Kerry Mountain Rescue, Jimmy Lade, and the members of his team to the Council Chamber today. I can think of no more deserving a recipient of this reception than the people who are with us here today, and I commend my colleague, Councillor John Joe Quality, for proposing this honour in your name. Over the last few days, I was reflecting on the work which the Kerry Mountain Rescue does. Quite often when I hear a report on Kerry Radio or RTE about a climber trapped, missing or injured on the McKillicuddy Reeks, I often think that this means that the volunteers of Kerry Mountain Rescue are springing into action, be it 3 a.m. or 3 p.m. When the call comes, the team members leave their homes and often the comfort of their warm beds to go to the aid of someone in distress. That shows exceptional courage, dedication and a civic spirit, which is a great source of pride to all of us in Kerry. And it is not just courage and dedication, it is often putting yourself in danger to ensure the safety of others. Often faced with high winds, driving rain and sometimes ice and snow, you face the challenge of rescuing a climber while placing your own life at the mercy of the elements in and around Ireland's highest mountain. In 2016, Kerry Mountain Rescue celebrated 50 years in existence, emerging in 1966 following the death of 2 climbers on the mountain. The group was formed to provide an additional support to the emergency and rescue services and to assist those in distress with the mountains. Initially, it comprised a group of concerned citizens who were civic-minded and keen to provide a helping hand to those who ran into trouble on the mountain. The foresight and vision of those initial members was extraordinary. They recognised that the mountains of South Kerry were a huge attraction for visitors, but that those mountains could also be a place of danger. Over the years, the team has been involved in an average of 40 incidents per year. That's almost 1 a week. In just 1 year, 2015 for example, that amounted to assistance being provided to 48 individuals and over 1,300 hours of rescue. The sad reality is, of course, that on Kerry Mountains there is an average of 1 fatality per year. While our mountains are one of our most significant assets, they have attracted visitors from around the globe. They can also be a dangerous place even for the most experienced of climbers or mountaineers. That is why the work you do in Kerry Mountain Rescue is so important. Your efforts and your dedication are an example to us all. So today we salute you, your ongoing professionalism and dedication, and we wish you every health and good wish as you go to the aid of those who rely on your help and guidance. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Cahirlach. Our next speaker is the Chief Executive of Kerry County Council, Moira Murrell.
Cahirloch, Corlori, Deputy Brazil, Gainushla, Galer. Fáilte of Galer, it's a call Hawkduct, August O'Cod Felay, and O'Cod enough. I just want to take the opportunity to welcome the Kerry Mountain Rescue. And I think it's very important that this recognition, which is the highest honour that the local authority can bestow on any body or any group of people, is being bestowed on you on your 51 years in existence. The whole history and tradition and current day volunteerism in the county is very, very strong, and I think the Kerry Mountain Rescue, I think you as a group of volunteers and the part you play and the core part you play in the county says so much about the strength of volunteerism within the county of Kerry, and it plays a real big part in making the county what it is. Just the Cahirloch would have mentioned there, you know, that the level of work and the level of activity that you undertake, and you know, when you look at it, 1,300 rescue hours have been carried out by this 35 people, this 35 body of volunteers across the county. You know, an average of 40 incidents annually. And that's without, and I know we know ourselves because of our linkage through the Civil Defence Organisation, that doesn't take into account the many, many hours and the level of professional training which you are required to undertake to be part of the group that you represent. And I think that's why it's so important that we recognise not only your actions but the preparation that you undertake as part of that. As a local authority, we can the budget each year. There's an allocation made to support Kerry Mountain Rescue, and I know that forms a critical part of the funding that you have and allows you to carry out your operations. So I think that's important that we acknowledge that as a local authority we support you in every way, including the financial contribution to your association. So I suppose just to say, look, we congratulate you today. You are being very strongly acknowledged today, and we wish you well for the next 51 years.
The next speaker, ladies and gentlemen, is the proposer of the hosting of the Civic Reception, Councillor John Joe Cullity.
Thank you, Mayor, and thanks to everyone here. On behalf of my fellow colleague councillors and Deputy Brazil here as well, and all involved with Kerry County Council, it is a great honour to welcome the members of Kerry Mountain Rescue here today. I want to thank the CPG for granting this request to have the highest honour that can be awarded to any individual or group in this county, awarded to the men and women of Kerry Mountain Rescue. I cannot think of a more worthy group than this group who would be more deserving of such an honour. I first talked to the members of the CPG seeking the civic reception in May of last year, as 2016 was their 50th anniversary. Little did I know at the time, a few months later, I would be involved in the rescue. Now, just a few statistics, I suppose, and maybe the Mayor has gone through these again, but just briefly. Kerry Mountain Rescue was formed in 1966 following the deaths of 2 climbers on the mountain of Kerry. They are based in Killarney. They respond to around 40 calls for assistance each year, and unfortunately, on average, there is 1 fatality per year in Kerry Mountains. At present, there are 36 men and women, both men and women, from all walks of life and from throughout Kerry and Cork. The typical cost of running Kerry Mountain Rescue is $60,000 per year. The most significant area of expenditure are insurance, equipment, training, vehicles and communication. Government funding, both national and local, covers approximately 1/3 of all running expenses. And you will notice from the areas of expenditure that members work on a voluntary basis. Not only that, but if they get a call out during their working day, they clock out and sacrifice their pay to help others in need. Members are trained in advanced rescue emergency care, First Aid Level 4. First Aid training is undertaken on a regular basis and skills are continually maintained and upgraded. In 2015, Kerry Mountain Rescue clocked up 1,304 rescue hours and 1,359 training hours. As I previously mentioned, I observed first-hand these skills on the 10th of July last year when a friend of mine, James Catlin, and myself were coming down from Carntool, and James slipped and as a result received serious head and spinal injuries. And I wish James well, and he's recovering better than expected, but has a long way to go, and I wish him well. And I observed that day, and I think you'd have to be there to see the caring, the compassionate way they dealt, the competence, the professional manner in which they dealt with the injured person. And they put my mind and James's mind so much at ease by the way they dealt with it. And it was so matter of fact, and everybody had their own role. I can't remember exactly, there must be 12 or 15 people there. And it was a joy to watch. And it came home to me more that day than ever before, that if we hadn't those people doing that job, we could close Cardentoul, we could close the Miguel Cully Reeks, because you'd have people that wouldn't be able to be rescued. The ambulance couldn't do anything for us, the Gardaí couldn't do anything for us. It had to be the mountain rescue. The way they conducted their business was second to none, and the way that they worked together, it was a joy to see, and as I said, put so much our minds at ease. They're the most modest group of people I've ever come across. When I mentioned about this, we don't want to be, they were thanking me more than I was thanking them. They're a very modest group of people, and I think we have so much to be thankful to them for. The minute the rescue was over, everybody went away. They were still back where they started, at their truck, debriefing, and that is a testament to how dedicated they are. And I suppose one thing came to mind there when we were talking, and it was something that a famous son of an Irish immigrant said one time, and ask not what your country can do for you, but ask instead what you can do for your country. These people embody that sentiment, and I think we'd have a far better county if more people took the lead from these wonderful people and the way that they go about their business. And there was calls afterwards to see how everybody was doing. They even called myself, which was greatly appreciated. And just before I finish, I'd like to wish Sean Tagney all the best. He's out in the Alps cycling and mountain biking, so I'd say he's on a gruelling schedule, and I wish him all the best on that. And I'll finish by saying, on behalf of the Mayor and my fellow councillors, to thank both past and present members of Kerry Mountain Rescue for the wonderful work you have done over the past 50 years. I wish you all the best on the future, and because of your commitment, both locals and visitors to our wonderful county, with all its outdoor pursuits, can continue to engage in these activities, safe in the knowledge that should anything go wrong, the dedicated members of Kerry Mountain Rescue will always be ready to provide our vital assistance day or night. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Before I invite Jimmy Lage to speak on behalf of Kerry Mountain Rescue, he'll be presented now with a certificate by the Cathaoirleach, Councillor Sheehan, to mark the occasion. So could I invite the Cathaoirleach and Jimmy just to step forward for a moment for the presentation. Thank you.
Cathaoirleach, Chief Executive, Councillors, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, one of the hardest things to take is, in this life, I think, is praise. I know that there's some very uncomfortable people down at the back there, but I want to, on behalf of the members down the back and all members of KMRT, I want to thank the Council for this civic reception and to say that we really appreciate the gesture, and we are, of course, delighted to be here today. Kerry Mountain Rescue is an entirely voluntary, independent body dedicated to helping people who find themselves in difficulty in remote upland areas of Kerry and West Cork. Our members are people who are passionately interested in the mountains, people who have accumulated a lot of experience through indulging in their passion, people who are drawn from local communities and who are likely to be members of mountaineering clubs throughout the region. We are therefore, in effect, taking care of our own. We are very fortunate to live and recreate in a county and region of outstanding natural beauty, a place that attracts thousands of visitors from all over the world. There has, in recent years, been an explosion in the interest in the outdoor and activity-based holidays. It is only right that there is an infrastructure, including emergency and rescue services, to match the demand, and we are happy to play our part. Why do we do it? Because we love the mountains. And there is hardly any greater satisfaction in life than to be able to help someone in their time of need. We recognise that for what for us may be a routine call-out is, at that time and in that place, a very significant, if not traumatic event in the life of our casualty. In marking 50 years of KMRT, it is important to pay tribute to the people who had the vision and foresight to establish the team back in 1966. With limited knowledge, meagre equipment, and little or no money, they set about the task with great commitment and drive. From our standpoint today, with a well-resourced and well-equipped team, we can only marvel at what our predecessors achieved. The team does not operate in a vacuum, and there are many people and organisations that support us, and I take this opportunity to thank them. We acknowledge and thank the Department of Transport and Tourism for the annual grant. We are particularly grateful to you, our Council, for your support. Emergency calls to mountain rescue may be channelled through Gardaí or Valentia Coast Guard, and we thank both as they allow us to use our judgment and experience to best manage each call-out, with of course their full support. To the crews of the Shannon and Waterford Coast Guard helicopters who do incredible work in the mountains, saving the casualty, at the very least, from many hours of additional discomfort and reducing the amount of wear and tear on our bodies as well. To the local Coast Guard units in Castledownbere and Dingle who take the load in the areas that are closer to them than to us. Joint training exercises and call-outs have allowed us to know each other's capabilities. To the local communities in the hills and valleys who have opened their doors to us at all hours of the night and have provided hospitality and every assistance that they possibly could. To the people, clubs and communities that have put their hands in their pockets to support our work, either directly or through the various fundraising events from which we have benefited. People we have helped have in turn helped us. It is particularly satisfying to us to note that the majority of our funding comes from the public, as it shows they appreciate what we do and it allows us to maintain our operational independence. Of course, the people who support us the most are our partners, our spouses, our families and our work colleagues, who contribute enormously by picking up the slack when we disappear at a moment's notice. Whilst we are pleased with what has been achieved over 50 years, we also see it as our duty to ensure that the work can continue and that standards are maintained. To that end, we encourage people to become involved in Kerry Mountain Rescue as we seek to improve the age profile and indeed secure the very future of the team. Once again, on behalf of myself and my colleagues, I wish to thank the members. I particularly wish to thank Councillor John Joe Cullity, but all the members of the council officials and staff for this civic reception. As has been said, it's the highest honour that your local people can bestow on yourself, and we are extremely grateful for this signal honour. Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy. That concludes the formalities. In a moment there will be refreshments down the corridor in the conference room, but we'd like to take a group photograph. Maybe the members of the team who are here would like to come up to the top table for a group photograph, and as I say, refreshments will be served thereafter. That's up to the guy here, look.
I just want briefly to say, thank you very much to the Kerry Mountain Rescue. You're very welcome, here, as we've already stated. I always had, a great time for Kerry Mountain Rescue, and he started with a wing and a prayer, going back in 1966. it's, you know, the work you've been doing is very, very important to Kerry. And I want to say, I put my money where my mouth was in 2011, and I was delighted to come along and have a mayor's ball and give you half the proceedings of it with Kerry Life skills. So I was delighted to give over 3,000 to you, and it was money well spent, and you badly needed it. So I'm very proud to be associated with Kerry Mountain Rescue. Thank you.